9 goals, 8 CBC to 1 point. I'm Tom Morrison. We've got my fellow commentators John Radigan and Phil McGann, both veteran Scarborough players in the past and on committee positions. Going to join us here to do the recording of the last half for your benefit. Fellas, a quick comment on what happened in the first half. Firstly, John Radigan, where did we go wrong in that first half?
Well, Tom, it was very, very poor. One of the worst exhibitions I've seen from the Scarborough Colts side. And having known the coach, Gordon Roger, for a number of years, I know how disappointed he would be. Absolute lack of dedication and last to the ball, and a couple of chaps have been sent off the ground.
As I say, Philip, you wish to say a few words about what happened in that disastrous first half?
Well, terrible. As we said when we were discussing the game earlier, Tommy, we knew the odds were against Scarborough. They played CBC 3 times this year and haven't won it to this stage. But getting a 9 or 10 goal break at half time is certainly disappointing, not only to us, not only to the club, nor to the coach, but certainly to the players, I'm sure. Terrible effort. We hope the half-time speech by Coach Roger revives the situation and might be a glimmer of some sort of a fight back in this particular half. We'll see what happens.
And as we say that, the umpire decides to bounce the ball to begin the second half of the 1982 grand final. And already we see CBC comes out through the avenue of Hart. He gains possession of the ball, a beautiful hand pass. Goes over to the wingman. He sees the opportunity down there, but the umpire has picked out a free kick. Umpire Clark it was. He picked out a free kick to Scarborough. Gary Zulmer, I think it is. He sees a short lead over to Billy Troon. Billy Troon takes the lead. Play on, he calls. That's better attitude as they come through, but again, things aren't going right for Scarborough. They run into each other. This gives CBC the opportunity to come out of danger. Gives the ball over towards Johnston for CBC. The ball's pushed forward again. Zulmer, he pushes the ball forward up towards the half-back flank. CBC again with the agency of Lawrence. He kicks the ball towards the centre of the ground. This gives Gorsey from CBC a long high kick up towards the centre of the centre forward position. But as we say that, the umpire has picked out another behind the game incident, this involving Gary Budd, and he was one of the main offenders in that first half of attacking the man more than the ball.
Yeah, well, after that, Tommy, we've got a bounce down at the centre half full for the CBC side. Yes, the behind the play infringements are poor at the present time. Umpire bounces the ball. Budd goes up too early. CBC knock it down, and Zulmer gets it. Nice handballs over. It's coming up the half-back flank. There's a lead, a foot here, Hoffmaster. He goes up. The ball goes through his hands over the back, and well backed up by Graham Carr. He's fighting. Sockers the ball off the ground. Under a lot of pressure there, the ball goes over the line out of bounds, right in front of the stand. As we look down, Kylie O'Callaghan looks like he's going to go for this one.
Gary Budd's in the first half, John. Kyle, wasn't he?
Yes, Kyle. He didn't have a good first half. Let's hope he improves, Philip.
As most of the players, we shouldn't single him out.
Gary Budd, nice tap over to Kyle. Too slow to get rid of the ball. The handball pass was there, well shepherded again. Kyle comes around, kicks the ball down the half forward line, and a good mark taken by Glenn Durran. He goes back for a wobbly little pass. Hello, our man runs into the umpire. That didn't help us either. CBC get possession of the ball. Picked up by Gorsey. Handball over the man straight down the centre of the ground. CBC have got a run on.
And dropped up there by Gary Zulmer. Geez, he's played well since he come on late in the second quarter and showed a bit of desire in the back line there for the Scarborough side. Out to the far centre wing. Barnard hot in pursuit of the ball. Still has control. Ball's over. CBC are in there again. They've picked it up. Another handball to the waiting arms of another defender there, and they clear into the forward line. An easy mark has dropped there. I can't see who it was. Timmy McCullum's in there. The umpire's there. No, they elect to play on. No, he hasn't. He's blown the whistle. That's thought. And we'll bounce the ball up again. Only about 35 yards out from the CBC goal. 9-8 to 1 point. There's still the half-time score. No addition at this quarter.
Yes, and as I say, the ball is in the attacking zone for CBC again. As the ball's bounced by the umpire, no one can gain clear possession of the ball, and this comes out through the agency of Scarborough, kicks the ball long towards the half-back line. CBC gain possession through the Hart. Hart sees the opportunity over towards one of his forwards. He comes out, grabbed very solidly by Scarborough in a more determined passage of play as the ball's hand-bowled out long. Straight through they come, and that's better effort as Gary Budd goes in and tacks the ball hard. The ball's on the ground. This gives the opportunity for Hart for CBC. He sees a short pass, but the ball beats his teammate over the line and out of bounds at the half-forward line for CBC. 9-8 to 1 point, as we said, in what was a disastrous first half for Scarborough.
I think, Tommy, just in this couple of minutes of play, at least Scarborough's showing a little bit more desire.
Yeah,
don't you
agreed.
think? There's
agreed,
just that little bit extra now all of a sudden.
Yes, well, that, as we said, hopefully it mightn't be too late, but I tell you what, there was a great mark by CBC. That was Brindley, and Brindley has taken this mark on the centre, just over the centre wing position for CBC. No leads offering, decides for the long kick up towards the forward pocket area. Up the big men fly. No one gains the ball. No one on the ground for Scarborough. This gives Ganelli the opportunity to get out of the to kick the ball towards the goal. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds in the half forward line for CBC.
Terry McAdam's going to take this kick out. No leads offering at the moment, but the boys are playing a little bit better in this third quarter. Gary Budd throwing his body around and throwing his heart into this game. As I speak, up he goes for a mark, and ball off hands. Yes, it's going to be paid.
Put him in line for the Kevin Stewart mark of the day, nearly. Johnny, wouldn't it?
No, young Craig Lawrence took that mark. He was in front.
If he had it.
Yeah, good one, Philip. Craig Lawrence goes up the centre of the ground, and Perry's there. Ball's off the pack, and the medalist has got the run of it. Paul Asfar hasn't had a good day today, Tommy. CBC kick it over centre half forward line. Once again, Gorsey gets control of the ball, runs around a couple of Scarborough guys, left foot down to the half forward line. Up, one Scarborough man, that was good, Dole. He's been caught and dropping the ball. At least they were talking a little bit. One man did go for the mark. Very unfortunate there for Tim McAdam, but a bit slow to get rid of the ball.
It's no good sitting there shaking your head, son. You've got to go back and pick a man up. That's what they're falling down, these Colts. They, as we also discussed earlier, showing a little bit of immaturity in their approach to this particular game. It's not a Sunday afternoon junior game anymore. They're men. They've got to play the game as men.
And as we say that, Hegarty is about 75 yards out with a big kick towards the forward line. That was a big kick by the young kid, and the ball's over the back of the pack. CBC again, but they're, as I say, their first tour of the ball all the time. It has been going on since the start of play, and they've got the results on the board to prove it. Points forced over the line, making the score 9 goals 9. CBC to unfortunately that 1 point, and geez, it'd be handy to get a goal to lift the morale of the side, John, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sure would be. As we say that, Craig Lawrence is fighting for the ball with Regan, the captain of CBC. He gets control of the ball, puts it on his right foot, has a shot for goals, offline and forced through for the minor point. And we won't show the scoreboard because we know what it's like at the present time. Scarborough with the ball, another kick out, goes out to that half-back flank. A beautiful torpedo kick. Craig Lawrence is underneath the ball, fighting hard. Goes through. Backed up well by Paul Asfar on the left foot. Sees the lead further downfield. Now here's Paul DeGrucci. He's got a loose man. One bounce. Goes to centre, across centre half forward. A high kick, setting his players up. There's two Scarborough players there. Perry, like a little rover, gets the ball off the pack, and a very poor kick. Don't hang your head. Come on, think about it and pick your men up, Scarborough.
Yeah, but Johnny, there was a man loose in the square on his own, and the handball popped over. He could have went in and virtually walked in and kicked the goal without any problem. Again,
not the fastest thinker, I don't think, though, Tom.
No, and unfortunately, but as I said, you know, those are the things that go wrong when you're not having a good day.
Look on the bright side, fellas, a double-deer score.
Yeah, well, that's the embarrassing part about it, and as we say, that gives the opportunity for young Glenn Durrant with a left foot pass up towards the half-forward line. Here comes Paul Asfar, a chance to show the qualities that made him the medalist for 1982, and here he comes with that left foot, lines it up. Could this be the first goal? I tell you what, it's gone right offline. 1 point only, and again, as we said, up to 3 points. Will they get that first goal at this stage, this pattern of the play? Johnny, do you reckon there's a chance here?
Oh, I think there's always a chance. I think these guys are going to fire sooner or later. They can't go any worse, Tommy, than they did in the first half. And as I said before, I think they have applied themselves a little bit better in this third quarter. As I say that, the CBC kicks long out the centre half forward. A pack flies, ball comes off hand. CBC a control of it. No, it's sharked by Kylie. He runs around one man. A short little pass. Oh, down to Glenn. It overruns. Gary Budd's got control of the ball. Plays for a kick. Doesn't get it. Glenn Durrant
look at the short
grabs
pass.
hold of the ball. The short pass. Bit of talking. Billy Troon stands his ground with someone running down towards him. Good gutsy mark. I think there was a bit of talking out there, Philip.
Yep. Can't kick a long way, can Billy, but he drives it into the forward line anyway.
No.
Look who's there. That was terrible, both on behalf of the kicker of the ball and also the receivers from Scarborough. No one there to accept that particular ball. The defensive CBC now ready to clear out. Stone on the mark, clears back into the centre half forward position for Scarborough. There's a pack developing. Kyle's underneath it. 20 for CBC's there. Scrambly play at the moment. No one's got possession. The umpire's picked a free kick out and it's gone the Scarborough way to young Craig Lawrence. In about the true centre half forward position. He's usually a very neat kicker of the ball. Interesting to see where he puts that one.
Down to Stoney, I would say, Philip. He's waiting down the
to help though, is there, John? If you look in the forward line there, anyway, it's a wobbly old kick into the forward line and drops short. Who's there for Scarborough? Not a lot. DeGrucci's first to recover. He gets the ball onto his left foot. Oh, he's caught. Quick, hurried handball into the way of Perry. Perry drops the ball. CBC come out and once again clear the ball out to the far wing position, where two of the Scarborough men is outnumbered 2-1. CBC get possession. He's got time to turn around. Steady. No, the kick's
Good effort, Kim
play.
Barnard.
Onto the to Ledger for CBC. He handballs over to the winger. They're still in it, but finally CBC get a scrappy old kick away. Who's there? Pandelli, it looks like. He falls down, knocks the ball on. No particular pattern of play at this stage. The Scarborough man gets it. He handballs out to the centre man, Lawrence. He won't bounce. He goes onto his left foot again, points it into the centre half forward position. Bud's there from behind, but not good enough. The front man gets the mark, and generally the rules of football, of course, must be in front to get hold of that fill.
Yes, and as we say that, Stokes from the centre half back position with a long kick up over the centre line. This gives the chance for Kylie to take a mark. Decides to play on. This gives the opportunity for Aspar. As we said, that's better players. A long kick up towards the half-forward line. Again, Scarborough behind the man. Billy Troon with a sensible hand pass. This handball over towards. There's a relay kick down the ground to Gary Budd, I think. And this could be Scarborough's first goal in this grand final. And we're at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. Gary Budd's got this opportunity. He's only 35, 40 yards out. He'll definitely get the distance. As we said, this was a badly needed goal to lift the morale of the whole side altogether at this stage of the game, just to get them boosted up. And as we said, they played a lot better this half. Scarborough, I suppose they couldn't have played much worse, but at least they've gone out there with a better desire to attack the ball than the man. As we wait on this kick by Budd, straight through the centre, Scarborough's first goal for the 1982 grand final. 1 goal 3, still a long way behind CBC, 9 goals 10, and as we said, we're at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. Have we got any contenders for the Kevin Stewart mark of the day so far, Philip?
Not a lot of marks so far, Tommy, are there? But I will make a quick comment. That was good play by Trooney. He was one of the few players in that last passage of play that had the desire to get the ball, a quick handball out, but as he handballed, he got interfered with. Budd was the recipient of the ball and posted Scarborough's first major, and in faith of Gary Budd, I believe he's one of the main instigators in this revival this half. He's playing a lot better, a lot more desire, and if the other players can follow his footsteps, that all augurs well.
Yes, and as we say, that is a centre rule infringement, and again this goes towards CBC. Their ruckman, big tall ruckman in Genie with a, geez, that's about a 75-yard torpedo up towards the half-forward line. Everyone up, no one on the ground. This gives the opportunity for Pandelli to burst his way through the pack, but the ball only goes towards Hegarty. Hegarty sees a short lead over towards his fellow teammate. A further lead up towards the ground, and the CBC have the opportunity to add further to their goal scoring tally at this stage. We see Lawrence, who's been one of their major better players for the whole game so far, the vice captain, and he's got the opportunity, as I said, 35 yards out. As we wait on it, as we said, straight through the centre, another one on the board. 10, they're into the 10 double figures, 10-10, the Scarborough's 1 goal 3. And probably if we could pick out 1 or 2 of the better highlights for Scarborough's point of view, possibly young Lawrence has played well. The fullback in Hall, and Gary Zilmer, since he came on, has featured probably prominently. Johnny, among the better players for Scarborough, can you find any other players?
Yeah, we won't talk about the first half, Tommy, just this third quarter. I thought a moment ago, which was very helpful in that goal we scored, was young Barnard out in the wing. He fought 2 or 3 players in a couple of minutes of football out there, and that augured well for us to get the ball down to our forwards to kick a goal. As we say, that the ball is bounced in the centre, and Regan goes up for CBC. Small knocked away. CBC has still got control of the ball. Hand passes out to the loose man. Down the ball goes to centre half forward. Once again, their vice skipper's in there.
This gives the opportunity for Pandelli, for Scarborough to come out of trouble. The umpire sees it that way, gives a kick back towards Gary Zilmer, and as we said, he's played prominently since he's come onto the ground halfway through that second quarter. Gary Zilmer with a long kick over towards that far side of the ground. Everyone up in the ground, but CBC strong in the air, strong in the air. They've been strong all day overhead, and this player's been one of their, Regan, I think it has been one of their better players. And there he goes, let's go with about a 60-yard torpedo up towards the half-forward line. Hall again, who's been one of Scarborough's better play, comes out, gives the ball over towards his teammate, but CBC intersects through Heaney. Heaney handballs all over towards O'Keefe. O'Keefe sees the opportunity further afield. The umpire stepped in, decides to give a free kick. He's played on, sees a loose man further afield, and here comes another one on the board, I think. I think he's kicked it offline. Golden opportunity, as we said, to add further to the tally, but the ball's through for the minor score only.
Didn't quite agree with the umpire's decision, Tommy, and giving that free kick against Timmy McCullum. It was a valiant effort, I thought, to stop the player in motion, but the umpire saw differently. Phil Hall, as said, one of Scarborough's better players, clears out towards Scarborough's left half-back flank, but again, CBC too strong in the air. Good solid mark by their player there in Hart. He goes onto the left foot, drives it back good, nice accurate kick into the full forward line. Their full forward set himself well. Terry McAdams got the ball, clears onto the far wing. Who's there for Scarborough? Goes over both their heads. Kimmy Barnard's one of the first to recover, but that man, it's not Regan, but another CBC player puts it back. Oh dear me. Another easy mark, unopposed mark to the CBC forward line. He's about 40 yards out on a fairly acute angle. Be fairly hard or fairly difficult to kick that, I think, but it's a matter, we'll see what happens. It's a high kick, it's certainly in the right direction.
Good kick.
Geez, they set themselves. Ooh, it hit the post.
Well, that wasn't a bad kick from about 50 yards out, right on that far side, John, and used to kick that far for a young kid. He's got to have a bit of potential in football.
Reminiscent of you in the days, Tommy.
Yeah, well, I probably could have been a bit further out when I was kicking him, but there's no problems at all, as we say that, and the CBC gained possession of the ball. Handball straight over a teammate in Johnston. Johnston meets the ball. The handball's further afield. Opportunity in the square for CBC again. Hooks over the shoulder. Another one on the board, unfortunately. And as we say that's 11 goals, 12 to CBC, to 1 goal, 3 to Scarborough at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter.
My new team, CBC, are going all right, Tommy, aren't they?
Yes, well, there's no doubt. As I said, I had some money on CBC now at half time.
Club rules, club rules.
We've got those old Scarborough jumpers on them.
Well, we better sell them this tape then.
Yeah, they might be interested in buying this. I don't think too many of our players will be interested in listening to the second half of the, or watching the second half of the grand final, and possibly they might be drowning their sorrows tonight at the function back at the club, Johnny.
Well, umpire Clark's got the ball, faces us and bounces the ball. Bud's in there for Scarborough. He gets an ineffective knockdown, chased there by Aspar. He overruns the ball. Timmy McCullums must be playing on the ball now, drives into the half-forward line, out to little Billy Trern. He's pushed the man out of the way. Ooh, umpire saw it definitely. He got pushed out of the way, so young Billy will again get the kick. He did well. He's driven the ball a bit longer than usual into the half-forward line. This time the Scarborough players have come to the fore through the agency of Paul Stone, taking a very good mark coming over the top this time.
I think that would definitely put him as one of the major contenders for the Kevin Stewart mark of the day,
Certainly
Philip.
was a good effort. That
definitely a big leap over from the back of the pack by
mark of Stones. Yep, at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter.
He probably nearly got a cold in the first half down at full forward there, Philip. I think, wasn't he? You know, he was pretty well starved of opportunities, John.
Yeah, you haven't seen much of the play at all, Tommy, but he's a very prodigious kick and he's not very far out, so there's a chance here for the second major to go on the board for Scarborough as he lines it up, swirls the ball around, and it just floats through. But anyway, we've got 2 goals 3 now, trailing CBC 11-12. I just hope that Scarborough can redeem themselves and young Kyle stays out a little bit of trouble. I see him in another little mix-up there with the umpire and another player.
That would get feature among one of the goals of the day for Scarborough, wouldn't it, Philip?
It is one of the goals for the day, Tommy, at this stage.
It'd be one of the contenders for it.
There's only him and Gary Budd in line at the moment. Paul Stone finished, by the way, I think we all realise, second in the leading goal kicker competition in the B Colts for 1982. So
he did a very, very good job.
Had a good season. Yep.
That's his first year in Colts, isn't it, Philip?
Correct. He comes straight out of the Scarborough Juniors, I believe, in 1981.
He's a big boy.
Telling me. Got some potential in senior football with amateurs. Anyway, on goes the play. Paul Aspar sockers it out to the far wing again, gets possession. He hadn't had a good a day as he would have liked, young Paul. Ball's driven into the Scarborough forward line, overran by plenty of players. There's no one in the centre of the ground. Goes over there. Bud's figuring in the play quite prominently now. Handball's over to Lawrence. He's going to get caught. No, he gets out of the tackle. Hurried left foot kick. Underneath there's Perry. Oh, no, but he's just out, Mark.
I think the umpires paid the kick to CBC, yes. It was a good mark by that fellow in...
That long-haired fellow Regan set up a couple of kicks, hadn't he? Played
yes,
well.
I won't say too much about those Regans. We could end up with the bottom of the harbour if we say too much about those. Anyway, as we say, that is a kick going towards Gary Budd, and as we said, he's been... Glenn Durran, sorry. And Glenn sees the lead out. Indirect passage of play, really. It's a long way home when you're going out towards the flanks, and would have been more service, I think, going straight down the centre. As we see that, we see CBC clearing it through their backmen who have played very strongly all day. And again, we've got that player again who's playing so well in Ledger. Yeah, he balanced up the Ledger as he kicks down towards the centre half forward position for their side. Again, as I said, Scarborough had the opportunity, but the touch of the fumbles, and it could be those grand final nerves, let them down, and the ball's been decided to give the umpire to bounce up.
Yeah, the Scarborough's forward line looks very scraggy too, Tommy, at the moment. Anyway, the ball's bounced just out from the centre on the wing side. CBC pushed it out. It's come. Paul Aspar's got control of it. Once again, his left foot. He's been his left foot all day. Tries to chip a little one out the wing, too far. CBC will get a kick for that. Out of bounds on the full. as they start running down the ground. Scarborough guys, you've got to start picking your men up. There's 2 or 3 Scarborough fellas without men. Need I say it? There goes the short pass down to the wing. Uncontested CBC mark. Now the Scarborough boys are starting to pick a few of them up. There's still a few leads offering unattached. Paul Aspar, he reads the play well to chip in there and take the mark in front of the CBC man. Comes around the mark on a half-back flank and kicks up long towards the wing. Glenn Durran up there with a beautiful solid mark. Beautiful solid mark. As he turns around, goes across for a short pass in towards the centre. Good gutsy exhibition there. Through comes McAdam, met heavily,
Good
still
play,
going.
son,
He's
good
played
play.
3 of them. Where are the Scarborough guys?
Bad
Paul
luck.
DeGrucci.
Bad luck. He's had a black day, young Paul, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
and as we say that, we give the opportunity for Hoffmaster.
Oh.
Hoffmaster handballs out, and I'll tell you what, there's a bit of determination which we could have done with early in the game.
Timmy.
As Timmy
Well done.
McCallum kicks the ball
Oh.
along, but as we said, things aren't going right for him, and he kicks straight into the opposition in hard.
Just ran out of legs there, I think, Tommy. He worked so hard to get the ball.
Yeah, that was a burst of pace. Philip, probably reminiscent of your younger days, the way he took off there.
He was very quick out of the blocks, Tom. Anyway, Brad Hoffmaster's got the ball. Bud's cleared again to into our attack. Only young Billy Troon there. He positions himself well to spoil the CBC man.
Oh,
He's
tricky.
still fighting for the ball. The umpires picked up another free kick. They've had very firm control over these packs all day and always elect if they can to Malaga, is it?
Genie.
Genie, I dream of. He kicks the ball. It's a long kick straight along this wing in front of the members' scoreboard. I think Bud's there again. He's had a pack of players fly over him, but has managed to hold the mark.
Yes, we're very critical of Gary Budd's first half, but he's definitely redeemed himself in this third quarter and probably been Scarborough's best player in their fight
Here's
back.
a go, Tom. Here's
As
a
we
go.
say, that is an opportunity for young Glenn Durrant. Lines up from about 60 yards out. It's not going to be a goal, but it's going to be slightly offline. 1 point only. And they've made a scoreboard 2 goals 4 to 11 goals 12, unfortunately. At the 20-minute mark of the third quarter, only time on to go. And with the possibility of only 25 minutes in the last quarter, things don't look real optimistic towards the premiership for the Colts. As we say, that could have been nearly paid a mark to DeGrucci, but the umpire decides that he'll let play go on to Stanley for CBC. Goes through very, very strongly as he gives the ball over towards his teammate. This gives the opportunity for Barnard for Scarborough. The ball's pushed forward again. Here's an opportunity for Scarborough through Billy Troon. Billy Troon
No help at all,
mishandles the ball. At a touch of the fumbles. As Johnny said, there was no help at all. No one came in to support him at all. The umpire decided that he'll have it, and umpire Smith will bounce the ball at the centre-half forward mark for Scarborough. As we say that, the ball is pushed down towards the centre of the ground, and Barnard again attacks the ball. Plays become very scrambly, Johnny, in this passage of play. I think a lot of the sting's gone out of the grand final, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, Tommy. With that CBC CBC fella just did his quince a bit and threw Barnard down on the ground. With that, he's got a free kick. Let's hope we do something with it. So it's a nice pass down to centre half forward to Kyle. Kyle's played 3 men there. He's still very slow on it. They're not contesting the Scarborough guys at the moment. There's Regan out in his own, the loose man. There's a redhead too, Tommy. Loose man down on that CBC's half-forward flank. He gets control of the ball, a long hand pass to the loose man in Gorsey. Gorsey's going to line up here with a... No, it's a short kick. It's to the vice skipper. It's off hands. This will be forced through for a point. No, it's still in play. Scarborough guys did well there to follow that ball up and force a bounce up. Is it, Tommy, or is it going out in full?
No, I think he's going to he's going to bounce it up right on the boundary line, Philip.
Right next to that point post. Good play by the CBC player then, a matter of fact, to keep it in play, but the umpire
That didn't
spoiled
give-
all that. He's bounced it straight out. I'm not sure what happens there. I think he has another go, doesn't he?
Yeah, the goal umpire comes and bounces it now, I think.
Yeah, 3 out of bounds on the pulls a free kick.
Is it?
Anyway, in he
Who
goes
gets it,
again.
the boundary umpire or the goal umpire?
It's ordinary bounce this time. Kyle O'Callaghan smothered with the ball. They both go to the ground. The umpire will take it back. This is his 3rd bounce now.
Just a note there, Philip, up in the half-back flank there, young Hoffmaster hasn't got any boots on. Is this the new rules?
I saw a CBC player a minute ago.
Sorry,
without any
it's a
boots on.
CB, yeah, it is a CBC guy. We've seen that many
Probably
of
the
them.
bloke that I saw then, John. Anyway, there's a good kick
He's
by
showing
the
some heart.
CBC.
Is there a Hoffmaster plays for CBC?
They're all
Another point
CBC
on
at
the
the
ball
moment.
to the CBC side, and they must be very, very confident as the time board goes near the 25-minute mark of this 3rd quarter.
Wouldn't be...
Meta scoreboard being 11 goals 10 to 2 goals 4.
Look at that half-forward line, what hope.
Billy Troon's having a run on the ball by the looks, Tommy, and on there to young Hoffmaster. There he is, handballs to no one in particular. Troon's in it again. He's got possession of the ball. There's a bit of a chance here to attack positively onto Norris. Norris has got it. Looks over his shoulder. not too prepared to play on that quickly, but drives the ball back into the centre half forward position. It's probably as good a way as any to go. There's Perry, there's a handball on now. Perry decides to use his pace. Goes for one bounce. But still there was Scarborough. That was a terrible play.
That was just the opportunity. He had one bounce too many. He only had one. But anyway, as I say, Scarborough let down again, and the ball's been kicked long into CBC's forward line. And O'Keefe, who's been a damaging player up there in the forward line for CBC, kicks the ball further afield. In comes CBC, attack the ball strongly. Another opportunity for him. The left foot hook towards the goals. We'll wait on it. The umpire's going. It's drifting over towards the. Drifting over towards the point post there, and in fact, it's gone out of bounds. Geez, a win.
Come out of the centre, eh?
The wind caught hold of that one. It was going to go through the goals. But anyway, as we say that, the ball's been kicked by Scarborough out of the danger area, and probably what was a fitting. Everyone's been waiting for that siren. I think Johnny, at three-quarter time, 11 goals, 13 CBC, 2 goals for Scarborough, only 25 minutes, or possibly the players got a chance to redeem themselves and kick 4 or 5 in the last quarter, hopefully.
Yeah, well, what Coach Roger's going to say is nobody's guess, really. He's got a lot to say. He's got to get his players fired somehow. But I felt sorry for the Scarborough's following division and their centre line there, Tommy. Coming up, having a look at Scarborough's half-forward line, there's just nobody. One player, Perry, was there matching 3. Just seems that they're lacking in attack. Whether they're running 2 guys on the ball, I don't know.
I think this was a pattern of play in the second semi. I think Scarborough were let down very... unfortunately on the ball when they didn't have the runners across the as we join you at the with the last quarter coming up in the 1982 grand final, and as the siren blows, the score at three-quarter time was 11 goals 13 CBC to a disappointing 2 goals 4 by Scarborough in the first 3 quarters of play. And all we can do is hope that in this last quarter, maybe some sort of revival by Scarborough to make the scoreboard look a bit better. But it's going to be a very tough task, Johnny, to do anything about the scoreboard at this stage.
Yeah, CBC are playing with so much confidence, Tommy. They're attacking the ball first, and just seems a dismal task in front of Scarborough. As I say, that Paul de Grucci chips in to grab the ball, kicks it, miskick it high, and Lengiol kick down to his half-forward line. Big Stoney. Stoney's got Stoney be able to kick that distance, actually. Noel, I'd like to welcome Noel Miller along. He's come along to give us a little bit of advice, and the players. We should give them the players advice before the game, Noel. But Stoney has been awarded that free kick, and he's lining it up. He'll whiz the ball around like he normally does and kick it very long. He's a tremendous kick, this fella. As I say that, he's miscued it. I think it's going to land on the edge of the square. Kylie O'Callaghan goes up and tries to take the mark of the day. Ball comes to the deck, CBC. 3 men, no, Stoney's in there. That's it. The Scarborough guys are standing still. As the ball comes up to the centre of the ground, Craig Lawrence makes a valiant attempt to grab that. CBC are all there again. They seem to have a mile of time. Picks it up, kicks it out on the wing. Now there's 2 or 3 Scarborough guys here. Let's hope they can redeem themselves here, Tommy.
Yes, Pandela, who's played very tigishly on that half-back flank and done a very good job.
Yes, good effort.
Beat 2 or 3 opponents there, kicks the ball down towards the half-forward line, but the ruckman for CBC have been playing a kick behind the play all day. Very damaging, that pattern of play that they use, CBC. They did it in the second semi-final, and it's worked very effectively today to put him in this winning position for the premiership for 1982. As we said, this is Scarborough's first ever attempt to win a premiership, the first time they've ever been in a grand final. And unfortunately it's been a disappointing attempt, and I hope the players, we only hope that they learn a lot from this. And as we say that, de Grucci with his left foot kicks it towards the half-forward line, but the ball beats the CBC player out of ground, and it's on the half-forward flank for Scarborough. As we say, it's only 2 minutes into the last quarter, 25 minutes to go, and as all we can do is hope that the players keep putting in a lot of effort in from Scarborough and do justice to themselves and the club.
Tommy, just looking at that forward line again, out of the 8 players, or 6 players supposedly been there, there's only 3. So where they are, whether they're running on the ball or whether they're coming up the ground to try and get kicks, you only know. Could you explain it to us?
Yeah, well, I don't know. As I say, when things go against you, the players have lost all confidence. They're not sure what they're doing. They're, dropping their head, and these things happen, unfortunately, when you get behind. But there's Billy Troon did a good effort there early to push the ball up towards the half-forward line, give Scarborough a chance. And I tell you what, there's a mark by de Grucci that would put him in contention for the Kevin Stewart mark of the day.
Most definitely.
I think with that and Stoney's would be the 2 prominent ones, and the kick straight down to the forward. You wouldn't believe it. There was 1 Scarborough player to 3 CBC. The result was inevitable, and the ball has come out of defence straight onto the arms of Ledger onto the half-back flank. He kicks into the man of the mark, the golden rule of football. Yeah, good effort by young Asphalt Spall, and put his face right onto the ball there as he made an attempt to stop CBC progressing up further afield into their forward line. The boundary umpire throws in. This gives the opportunity for Barnard. Barnard sees he He's been caught holding the ball, and unfortunately today, a few Scarborough players have been caught, Johnny, holding the ball.
I think that just shows his lack of talking and lack of confidence in each other. As I say that, the ball's kicked up along the wing to be picked up by Norris. He ducks his head. Oh, it could be given against him, dropping the ball. Yes, good decision by the umpire. You can't duck your head like that, Jeff. Okay, he's going to kick this ball long. There's a few leads. No, he's gone out to the half-forward flank with his two Scarborough guys. Over the top goes McAdam, punches the ball out of bounds.
There's young Gary Zilmer there, John, who's come on in the second half when these two players were sent off the ground, and he's played very serviceable since he's went on with a lot of endeavour and attacking the ball. As we say, that young Paul Asfar, who's tried desperately to raise his sides with some tigerish efforts, he's tried his heart out as he gains possession of the ball, kicks the ball long towards the centre of the ground, and a very strong mark held there by Graham Carr. He decides to get on with the play. Good work, son, as he kicks the ball long towards the centre of the ground, but through comes CBC, but Scarborough, they're meeting that challenge anyway as the ball's been pushed further afield. The umpire's picked out a free kick. It's gone CBC's way, unfortunately, because that was a promising move. Yeah, it was a bit hard, Noel, but anyway, as we say, that ball's been handballed over to Johnston. Johnston sees the lead up towards the forward line. CBC got 2 to our 1, but a good effort by who was that, young Billy Troon, was it?
Billy Troon, and he's got cramp, Tommy.
Yeah, you know, his heart matches his size. He's not a very tall guy, but he's tried his heart out. He's another player that's been just probably lacks a bit, but Johnny, his heart's been in the right position.
I think he's played very well, actually, considering the standard of the game and considering the amount of opportunity he's had with his side. He's played very well. The boundary umpire throws the ball into the benefit of CBC, actually, and they shark the knock, run around, have a couple of bounces, and a beautiful left foot snap at goal. There's two Scarborough guys there, and the strong hands of Durrant, comes straight through with a drop punt out to the half-back line, and Gorsey's there for CBC. He's played quite well, this fella.
Yes, he's been one of their better players, hasn't he, Gorsey? In fact, featured among a few of their good passages of play, but they've had many good players, John, unfortunately.
Well, pity he wasn't still playing soccer, Tommy, because he's had a million kicks against us. As I say that, there was drop mark at centre-half back by Scarborough. The ball comes out to Gorsey again, the same man.
And there's that Regan again, who's been probably the nearly best on the ground, John.
Yeah, he's played well. So's their vice-captain. That shows the nominating of those two players as captain and vice-captain. Been a tremendous job by their coach. Scarborough sharks the ball. Durrant tries to run around and run through a couple of players, and very lucky to get that.
Yeah, that was young Phil Hall, actually, John.
Big yours?
Yeah, that was young Phil Hall, who's played very strongly at full back, actually. He's tried his heart out, but hasn't met with much support down there. As we say, the ball's been kicked long. He tried the opposite side of the ground. That man who's been everywhere all day today in Regan, he's needed a haircut, I think, Johnny.
No hair jokes, Tommy. We made that decision. Brooker asked us not to say anything about hair jokes. As I say that, the ball's been forced away by Scarborough and sharked by Hoffy. Hoffy goes out to the wing where he sees Paul de Grucci. Good lead and a good mark, Paul. Paul, you've got to kick long. As it is, there's Gary Budd. Pushes a man in the back. Very, very slow to regain his feet. But still, there's 3 men out there, and he's quite on the large side, so he did put a bit of pressure on him, enough pressure to force the CBC guy to kick it out of bounds on the full, so the kick will be taken by Scarborough.
Okay, we're at the wing position, as we say that. We're at the 8-minute mark of the last quarter of the 1982 grand final, in possibly what might be a game that Scarborough would rather forget. And I hope it's not going to be a trend for the rest of the day, in the fact we've got 2 other sides playing in the premierships, and we only hope the result can be better of that. As we say that, we see Kyle sees the lead further afield. Loose men for Scarborough. You can't believe there's an opportunity for a goal. You wouldn't believe it. 30 yards out on his own, and he's kicked a point.
Normally a good kick to Craig Lawrence. I think he's tried very, very hard. He just had a bit of trouble handling that ball, and the CBC guy put a bit of pressure on him, and Craig didn't come through with that. CBC are now kicking out from goals out the half-back flank. Once again, unattended. There's loose men up this wing right underneath us here, Tommy. They seem to have a few extra guys on the field today.
Yes, I think they have too, and as we say that, the ball goes towards Ledger. Ledger gains possession. A good mark by him as he takes one bounce. He's not sure what to go on as Scarborough try to come in, stop that potentially dangerous move, but this gives the opportunity for Mandelli. But in comes Gary Zilmer again. He sees the lead further afield. Well, good kick by Gary Zilmer, and Craig Lawrence. He's got a big potential in football, Craig, if he keeps going. As he sees the lead further afield, Scarborough, Billy Troon again. There he goes, trying to meet the ball. Same thing with, he's got Kim Barnard there. He's got the opportunity. He comes around onto his right foot, sees the lead further afield, but there's CBC make one of their rare errors, gives a chance for Durrant. He lines up from about 50 yards out. You wouldn't couldn't believe it. CBC have taken the mark right on the line. Now he's taken it just, it was 3.5 centimetres in from the goals. You could see it from here.
First time I've heard you use metric. Tommy, you've been talking about yards all day.
Yeah, well, I usually only talk about inches, but there's no problems. But the CBC fullback, he's taken that mark right on the line. Sees the lead further afield through Regan. As we said, he's been everywhere, this player, as he kicks along towards the half-back line. And again, we see his teammate in Hegarty. Hegarty takes a strong mark. In fact, their marking has been extremely good for a Colts side, actually. He handballs over to his teammate. He gets in all sorts of trouble in Ledger. Ledger handballs back towards Hegarty. Hegarty's got an opportunity here, but I tell you what, Scarborough they've got a chance to come out of this as the ball goes towards O'Keefe for CBC. He handballs again over towards Dokes. Dokes long towards the half-forward line. And as we say that, we see the potential of the Scarborough's back line to break up this promising attack, but the ball goes over towards Offer. Offer is honour is Offer, and he kicks the ball over towards his teammate, and he's put it through for another goal.
That was a very good passage of play stemming from CBC's half-back line, Tommy, and into the centre of the ground a couple of beautiful hand passes, and the handling of the ball by the CBC Colts. It must be raised. They are a tremendous ball handling side and a very capable side. So our guys have got their work cut out, but even though they've had a bad day, they're up against a tremendously talented side.
Well, they are, and the 3 times they've met this year, we only got Scarborough only got beat by 2 goals in the second semi-final, and the most we've been beaten by is 3 goals all year. But
did we have players sent off that day, Tom, or not?
No, we didn't have any players sent off, and we've obviously lacked a bit of height in that today, and that was probably only due to the players' own fault that we haven't got some strong guys out there, and it must be a major disappointment to Gordon Roger as coach to come up and coaching a side to find these sort of things that have gone against Scarborough. For about the 3.5 minute mark of the first quarter, I think, was the first player that left the ground.
Yeah, complete disgrace to the players as well. As we say that, Paul de Gricci stands his ground to take a very good mark. Craig Lawrence was tied up in that passage of play, another good player. Paul de Gricci decides to run around the man on his mark. Little handball, runs in the 3 players.
I tell you what, that was courage, de Gricci. Well done. Absolute courage. Absolute courage that was. He knew he had to commit himself. He went strongly through. He got unstuck. He did some damage to his leg. We hope he'll be all right. But anyway, as we join play back at the centre of the ground, as we see Paul Asfar with a long kick. That's about a 60-metre torpedo as it goes in, but there's no forwards there at all, and this has been the pattern of play all day as, again, CBC come out of our attacking zone. The ball over towards the half-back flank, pulled around the neck. It's got to be a kick to Scarborough, and he's got the opportunity out there to drive the ball long towards a full forward line, and that's the way the ball goes. Again, CBC, as we said.
Second uncontested mark in a matter of 60 seconds, Tom.
Yeah, we definitely need some height down that forward line, John, don't we, and around the ground generally.
We need everything.
But anyway, as we say that, the ball's been pushed out towards Kylie. Good effort by Kylie as he taps the ball back, but everything's going right for CBC. Those things happen. There's a dangerous move. They've got loose men everywhere. The ball's been kicked towards Platt. Platt's been met very solidly. Well played by Scarborough, and the ball's been pushed out of bounds because they had loose men everywhere. And as we say that, there's a fight further down the field. John back there again.
Yeah, I think little Hoffy's getting himself a bit riled over there, but a bit of rough play by the CBC guys. And anyway, the big fella was over there. Gary Budd was over there to protect him, and that's good to see, as long as it's used in the correct way, which I hope some of the guys who aren't playing will watch this replay and learn something from it. As I say that, Hoffy's been given awarded the free kick out in that wing position. So he's going to kick the ball long. It's a floating wobbly old torpedo punt up the half forward line there, contested by Jeff Norris, knocked away by Regan, or from Regan. Norris and Regan are fighting for the ball very close to the boundary line. The umpire's blowing his whistle and will decide to bounce the ball up. As I say that, Kyle and a few of the Scarborough guys run down to contest this bounce up. Kyle and CBC up there. Unfortunately, it was a CBC knock. Kyle fought well, picked the ball off the ground, handballed it out to Paul Asfar. He kicks long up. Stoney's fighting 3 or 4 of them and take a brilliant mark.
That'll put him in contention for the Kevin Stewart mark of the day, and that's his second big grab he's taken.
That was a fighting mark.
Tommy, I think that you'll find that Paul Asfar has improved since half-time. He's been a little bit instrumental in the ball being put into Scarborough's forward line on the 1 or 2 occasions that it has, and it's come from Paul Asfar in the centre. That's from my observation since half-time, but before half-time was probably a little bit down on form.
As we say that, Paul Stone straight through the centre to give Scarborough his 3rd goal, and he's got to be one of the main contenders of the goal of the day with that, 2 out of the 3. Yeah, no, you're right. His second half, Paul, has been definitely better than his first half. He won the medal for the fairest and best player in the Colts for 1982, so that's no mean feat, and obviously his talent's there. His first half he was obviously amongst the other 17 or 19 or 20 players that were out there that didn't things didn't go right for him, but his second half has been very good, and he's tried his hardest out, and definitely lived up to his reputation as being one of the most promising players down Scarborough for a few years. And as we say, that umpire Smith decides to bounce the ball, and the tap goes away of Bud for Scarborough. Durrant, I mean, as the ball comes down towards one of his teammates. Jeff Norris is in. But out comes CBC. They've had men everywhere, as we said. There it comes 2-1 again, and this, as we said, it seems to be the pattern of player as Platt for them gains possession of the ball, kicks the ball high towards the forward line. Scarborough, two men go to it. No chalking, as Noel said, no chalking. This gives lets CBC in. The long hand passes out. Again, Scarborough's got the opportunity. No chalking again. Unfortunately, and the ball's been pushed out, and this again CBC gained possession of the ball. The ball's been pushed along. Very scrambly passages of the play as the ball finally comes out with Scarborough's advantage as the ball kicked towards the centre of the ground. In comes Bud again. He gains possession with a long kick up towards the half-forward line. Very undermanned here at Scarborough. Said Kylie's gains possession with a long hand play. Great play over towards Barnard. Barnard on the left foot up towards the full forward line, but CBC leading in the run to the ball. He's a yard in front of Stoney. Well done by the CBC in closer. He kicks the ball towards the half-back flank, and the ball beats the Scarborough player out on the half-forward line. And as we say that, it's at the 15-minute mark. There's only possibly 5 minutes plus time on to go before the 1982 season is all over from the both these sides, and obviously that CBC are going to be the premiers for 1982. And as we say, the ball's been thrown. There's good opportunity for Kylie. He goes around at one player, and his determination plus and his attitude there hooks over them. 3 CBC again to 1. Poor old Stoney, he must have wondered what's going on down there, and he hangs his head, and I don't blame him. He's had to beat 3 players all day, and as CBC come out of the play, here's an opportunity for Regan again. The ball's been kicked towards their centre line, and the kick's been given to Royal Scarborough in Gary Zilner. Gary Zilner on the centre wing.
He's played very well. As Gary Budd and Kylo Callaghan have starting to fire in this late part of this game. A few Paul de Grucci and a few of them are walking around with pretty severe injuries, limping and that, but unfortunately the coach is unable to bring on any reserves this stage of the game. We say that the ball goes down to the centre-half forward line for CBC. Mismarked by their vice-captain, well recovered. Good tackle. He now has got control of the ball, screws it around into the pocket to see the Scarborough guy come out. And, young Hall, good defensive play by Hall. The ball's forced up. Bud goes up for the knock. Paul Aspar reads the play very well. Pretty to watch when he's going.
Still no one to kick it to, is
No, he's got no one to kick it to. There's no one down there at all.
You can't believe that. That's where Jeff Porter, if he would have stayed on the ground more than 2.5 minutes, would have been handy down that forward line. But anyway, that was not to be, unfortunately, and CBC again come out of the defensive zone. Gary Budd, he's trying everything in this second half. Over to Aspar. Aspar again pumping the ball back in the forward line. This time at least Scarborough have got men down there to contest it. Pushing the back to Rob Perry. But one of the interesting points that's come out of the game, John, the score at half-time was 9 goals 8 CBC to Scarborough's 1 point. So CBC have only kicked 3 goals 5 to Scarborough's 3 goals 4 since half-time. And so you can understand that what a disastrous first half it was, and what at least a bit of effort some of these players have put in since half-time.
Well, I fully agree with that, Tom. I think now they're starting to, well, they have, since that disastrous start, as you say, they're starting to play the ball and not the man. And the guys who were playing the man, well, they're not playing anymore. So it's as simple as that. But it's a very scattered, undisciplined side at the moment, and I suppose in the dying minutes of a grand final, when one is that far behind, I suppose there's no real reason for doing anything other at the moment. CB still pushing the ball forward. The umpire's seen fit to ball it up and give a free kick to the back pocket player for CBC. One of the Scarborough guys held him, so he's going back for a kick. He'll kick it long down the wing. Nothing much to offer actually, so it's a short pass. He killed me again. CBC go up virtually uncontested, handball it over to the loose man, down the half-forward line. They've got the loose man again. There's always loose man. One bounce, lines up the goals, left foot pass to his full... Yes, the vice-captain, no, he wasn't awarded the mark.
Young Hall again, that was a promising move by Hall to stop that attacking move by CBC.
Played very well, Tom.
Yes, he has actually down there. And
he's played well too.
And as we say that, Scarborough have come out, there's got to be a free kick, I think. and that's given to young Timmy McCallum. Timmy McCallum, good hand pass over to Gary Zilmer, as we mentioned repeatedly, played well since he's came on. Unfortunately, their kick didn't match his early efforts, and this gives CBC the opportunity to come out of that attacking move, kick towards long by Regan. Regan's kick is effective, it's straight to his teammate in O'Keefe. O'Keefe sees the lead further afield, and at this stage there's CBC players everywhere as Gorsey gains possession of the ball. He's met very solidly, good effort by Scarborough through the agency of McAdam there, who met that CBC player very solidly.
Tom, I only hope that the Scarborough top side have seen the first 3 quarters of this game, and they'll realise that the Colts' mistakes, and they might have learned something for the major game to follow this.
Yes, we only hope so, or it will be a black day. Not if it's going to be anywhere near a repeat of this, but as we say that, the boundary umpire's throwing the ball in. The ruckman forward hard, there's Kylie, who's ruck manfully in the second half. Actually, is a hand pass out towards Asfar again onto the left foot. Beautiful disposal. Unfortunately, no one had kicked it. This has been going on all day. You can't believe it. Johnston gains possession of the ball. He's as bad as the Scarborough efforts as he kicks straight to Pandally. Pandally sees at least a lead further afield as Norris. The ball didn't bounce right for him. Bad luck, Jeff, as it comes over towards Perry. I hope he doesn't try a bounce. He doesn't this time. Kicks the ball long towards Stoney. Stoney flies one hand. Gives the opportunity for CBC to fullback to come out of it, and he's about 2.5 yards closer than Stoney as he bounces the ball 3 times, 4 times. He's still not chasing him. 5 times, 6 times up towards. He's brought the ball from the full-back line right up to the centre of the line as Regan, who's got he's had that many kicks. Kyle definitely didn't play the ball in. A bad mistake, Kyle. I hope you don't continue in your football career playing them like that, as the ball's been kicked over by Scarborough and at least given them the opportunity to go further, as Lawrence again sees his short lead over towards young Barnard. Barnard, only little in stature but big and hard. He gains a good mark. Handballs over to Bud. Bud sets sail with a big kick up towards Stoney. Can he hold that? Tom. He should have nearly held it, but as we say, he's got to beat 3 of them. He's got no chance of recovery, because I think you'd be quicker than him, Noel, even these days. But the ball's kicked out. We'll tell you what, that is a good mark. Yeah, they're about the same size, and here comes Ledger again. He's been in a bit of a trouble with injury in this second half, but I think there's a few other boys that are going to wake up a bit sore and sorry tomorrow, and I suppose a lot of them will be Scarborough players when they start to realise what did happen in the 1982 grand final, John.
Yes, Tommy, it hasn't been a top showing, but at least you can't, as I said before, they're such a talented side, these CBC Colts, and our chaps, with the side that has been on the field and with the injuries they have got and are still forced to carry, I think they've done a quite a good job in the second half. We'll forget about the first half. As I say, that ball goes over to Jeff Norris, who hand passes on quickly. Running player up the centre of the ground, the centre half forward. Here's Gary Budd. He's tried sterlingly in the second half. Oh, heavy tackle by one of the Scarborough guys there. Then a few unhappy people at the moment. Runners going everywhere, yelling and screaming, but the ball's been held up at centre half back and will be kicked up along the win. Oh, poor kick. Very fortunate for Pendali. Fell into his hands. He'll go further up to centre half forward, hopefully looking for Perry or one of these. No, big Durrance there. Good effort thing. He's playing 3 or 4 players, which has been the seems to be the thing across that half forward line again. Jeff Norris tackles the man, easily gets the hand pass through. They've got CBC players everywhere. And this Fry, he's played very well. Hand pass over to the running CBC mobile division, down to the vice captain. Half forward flank, he'll have a pin. He's a good player, this fella. No, hand passed over, and well done, Scarborough. You fought for it, and well run by McAdam down the half back line there.
Seems to me, John, that the main problem is at the half forward line of Scarborough. When they do get the ball out of the half back line and across the centre, they're let down terribly across the half forward line. There's always one Scarborough player against 2 or 3, and sometimes even 4 CBC players.
Completely non-existent at the moment, I'd say. No, yeah.
They lack a bit of height and mobility across that line, but you can't blame them, because they're as much as they're not showing their best, but they're not getting much support as players running down the ground to give them much help either.
They're only probably playing at the moment with 14 to 15 men.
As we say that's the end of the 1982 grand final, with CBC running out winners, and good luck to them. 12 goals 11 to 12 goals 14 to Scarborough, 3 goals 5 in what has been a major disappointment for the Colts for Scarborough for 1982. And we only hope, as we said, when we join you back in about 10 minutes at the senior game, the top league game for the 1982 between Scarborough and Bayswater, will prove to be a better result for Scarborough's point of view.
Yeah, Tommy, just some of the players, I suppose, could think of some sort of redemption on that. I think Gary Budd, even though we did give him a little bit of criticism early in the game, I think he went on to play a tremendous game, seeing he had to carry the ruck and the height all day. Tim McCallum, a few other little guys, Barnard and Hoffy, they tried hard. Paul Aspar, he tried well. Craig Lawrence, these fellas, but on the day we just didn't have enough good players, and it was unfortunate, and very unfortunate for Coach Roger.
I see young Asfar coming off the ground there, and also we've seen earlier Dodge there, Gordon Roger, a very disappointed man obviously for the efforts that he's put in.
Who's that number 18 we can see on the screen there, Tom?
I don't know, he didn't play today, I don't think. I can't, it looks like Porter or someone, no, yeah, he mustn't have played.
Who's that? Porter?
Yeah.
Didn't mention him today, did we?
No, he wasn't on the ground long enough, and we'd rather forget that incident. But as we say, the players going off the ground are very disappointed at Scarborough crew, you know, passing the bottle around, and they know very well in their mind, I'll come back to them later on, that that was a very disappointing effort. As we turn the cameras over to the opposite camp in CBC, obviously the difference between winning and losing a premiership, a very jubilant CBC mob. Bunch of players who were going to do a lap of honour for their supporters, a big crew of supporters actually. John, there
is
CBC.
Tommy too. I was just going to make a point that I hope that the Scarborough guys now watching the CBC fellas run around and showing their jubilation after winning a grand final, just how hard it is to win, how hard it is to get there, and I hope in years to come this video might be shown as somewhat of a post-mortem to show players that the hard things in grand finals have got to be done to be able to win. But I hope these 18 guys that participated in this grand final with Scarborough, also the 20 I should say really, in fairness, do stay with Scarborough, participate in either a Colts grand final next year or further up the club rankings in other sides.
As I say, before we close up, but we've got to make mention of the fact the Colts did make it. They were the team that the first ever side to make the 1982 grand final, first ever side to actually get into a grand final, I'm sorry. So as much as it was a disappointment today, it was a good effort, Noel, in actually getting as far as they did. Oh, don't worry about it, we'll just get ready for the other game.